I'm great. Thanks for being here.
I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
I love the name.
Aww.
So that's your artist name, or singer, songwriter? What do you call yourself? Rapper?
So I'm a pop singer.
Okay.
I'm actually so I started out with my song Never Go Back. It went viral back in 2021.
Nice.
I was blown away by it because I never thought a song like of mine would end up blowing up.
Yeah.
And I got like thousands of comments from other healthcare workers saying like, this really touched my heart. And like, I just read through the comments whenever I have a low moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I changed somebody's life. Like I made somebody feel less alone.
That's so dope. And that's a recovery song?
No, it's a healthcare song.
Healthcare song. Okay, got it. What was it called again?
Never Go Back.
Never Go Back. All right. Definitely will be checking that one out. You know, when I used to work in the treatment space as a case manager and group facilitator, I would do a lot of like music therapy groups where we'd like pick a song, we'd all listen to it, and then afterwards we would like process how it makes us feel and stuff. So yeah, there's so much to music and just how healing it is, and how, I mean, I could be in one mood, put a song on, go for a drive and feel completely different. So yeah, awesome. So you're in recovery.
I am.
Nice. So how long have you been sober for?
So I've been sober for a little over a year. My birthday's January 15th.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you got sober just over a year ago. Was that the first time you got sober?
No.
Okay. So you tried, a couple times. Okay. And what was your drug of choice?
My drug of choice was pretty much anything and everything. Anything that I could get away. I could have that aha moment where I didn't have to worry about my feelings, or I could just get away. And that was, for me, I'm an escape artist. So I like to escape from my feelings.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even today I noticed myself like using like lifting or working out as a Band-Aid instead of a drug, but it's a better one.
It's a better one, at least. Yeah. So what was it that made you start using?
Well, I have a pretty rough background. I was bullied really badly as a kid.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And, I wanted to be the attention-seeking cool kid. So I started smoking weed, and I started drinking. And
at like a young age?
Yeah, at a very young age.
Okay. Yeah. And was your parents around? Did you have your family around you? Were they saying anything? Could they tell?
No. They just thought I was the kid going through an emo phase. And stuff. But I was really using behind the scenes.
So. And so walk us through what that led to. Like, what was like the height of your addiction?
So the height of my addiction was I just got out of the COVID pandemic, and I was doing like travel nursing. And I ended up going on a year-long bender across the country. So I was like in a different city every weekend, and I was getting loaded, and I was going out. I was
just get a little closer to the mic. Yeah.
I was getting loaded everywhere I could. I don't even know where my drugs came from. It was a whole situation.
Yeah. What were you using mainly?
So I mainly used, before my relapse, I mainly drank, and I smoked weed and mushrooms and everything. But then after my relapse, I was like full-blown narcotic.
Okay. Yeah. And so you were a nurse?
So I went to school for nursing, and then I ended up not being able to finish because of COVID. So
okay. When was it that you realized, like, I've got a real problem on my hands?
I knew I was always a problem. I knew that, but I just didn't know how to fix it. I thought it was always external. I thought that the problem was the people around me or the environment that I'm in or something like that. But no, the problem was always me. And it didn't take until I got sober to realize that the problem was me.
Yeah. So what, did you go to treatment? I mean, how'd you get sober?
I self-detoxed. So I locked myself in a room, and I went cold turkey on everything. And it was a really rough process.
What was that thought process like for you, deciding you were going to quit cold turkey? Like, what was that conversation?
I knew I had no other choice, or else I was going to get evicted. I was making other people I was living with uncomfortable. I was making my family uncomfortable, and I was pushing them away. Yeah. And I just had no support. And my friends were leaving me, and even my best friend at the time told me, like, hey, like, you got to clean your act up, or else nobody's going to like be here to support you. I'm not even going to be here to support you.
Yeah.
So
you detoxed on your own.
yeah.
And what was that like?
It was horrible.
How long did it last?
So I was like laying in bed for about a day and a half, and then I started drinking a lot of water. And then after that, I felt a little better.
Yeah. Detox is the worst. I was a big opiate user. So my thing was like Norcos and then Xanax and then Adderall. Like that was my cocktail. And I was doctor prescribed at the beginning. And so I was like, it's okay. I'm fine. Doctor prescribed, whatever, you know? And then I would just start taking like massive amounts of it. So I detoxed myself a couple times too. But it was so gnarly that I had to go like do a medical detox.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I feel like, did you feel like it was more of a mental thing for you than a physical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like it was like 90% mental, 60% physical. And then there was like the majority of was, I feel horrible. I'm just going to go out and I still I'm in contact with all my plugs. So it's so easy for one of them to come to the house and bring something by.
Yeah. And what do you think? I know you said a little bit because, you know, you were ruining everything in your life. What was it though, like deep inside you that made you not pick up? Because it's so hard for an addict, especially when they feel so crappy and you don't have, you're detoxing on your own. It's not like you're at a facility. Like what was it deep inside you that like kept you from not making that phone call?
I truly wanted better for myself.
You had surrendered.
I surrendered.
Yeah. You had the willingness to make a change finally. Do you mind saying how old you were when you made this choice?
I was 21.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I could tell you're young. That too, getting sober young. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, I think about that too, like with younger people getting sober. Cause for me, like I got sober late. I was in my 30s. And so it was hard because I didn't know how to have like sober fun or, you know, just to be out in public. I was super like socially awkward. But when you're young, it's got to feel a little bit like, oh, wow, what's it going to be like now? You know, because you're so young, like the bars and stuff like that. Like, do you feel you can go out and do stuff that young people are doing, like going to a club or going to a bar or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, I go out to like restaurants and stuff and my friends are drinking and I'm sitting over here and I'm like I order mocktails because I like the taste experience. I don't like, I'm fine without the alcohol. I'm done with all of that. My drinking days, I've retired, but I love the taste, the mixture of tastes and everything. So they're, you know, having fun and I'm having fun and it just works out in the end.
I love mocktails too. We've done a few episodes, well, not episodes, but little reels where we like make mocktails. It's a lot of fun. Have you ever made them on your own?
No, I would love to.
It's a lot of fun. So what do you do when you get any sort of triggers or cravings, or do you not get that anymore?
I used to.
Yeah. What would you do?
I would leave.
Like leave where you were at?
Yeah. I would go home or I would get to a meeting. I would make sure that I got myself into a meeting and I would share. Like I would raise my hand up and be one of the first people to share.
Yeah. So get into solutions. So you work like a 12-step program?
I do.
Okay. You have a sponsor and all
Yes.
that. Did you go to a lot of meetings at the beginning or what did it look like for you?
So for the first 6 months, I went to 1 to 2 meetings a day. And then after about the 6-month mark, I started, you know, venturing out and experiencing life. Like I got a new job. I moved. I moved into my own apartment. Like I have roommates, but I signed a lease somewhere and I moved in, you know, somewhere where I'm more responsible.
Yeah.
And I just started taking more adult responsibilities on again, you know, but it was challenging. Like when I first moved, I didn't even know how to work a vacuum cleaner. I mean, I know the difference between good and bad cocaine, but I don't know how to operate a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, like normal life skills.
Right.
You're too busy doing drugs.
Right.
So you said that you didn't like to feel your emotions, like you were constantly escaping that. What does it feel like now to feel those emotions?
I need to pause. I'm still getting used to the whole having emotions thing and the whole feelings thing. And I sometimes project those feelings onto other people because I'm so inexperienced dealing with feelings.
Yeah.
Only being a year sober. That even though some people, like my friends, they all know that they have to have extra patience with me because I'm newly sober and I'm learning and I'm going through that growth of learning how to, express emotion, not project on people, not take my own insecurities out on people, not snap at people.
Yeah.
Because I used to just go and, get loaded, or I'd leave and say, hey, F you, I'm going to go get loaded. Like, I don't like what you said. I'm going to drink over it, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. I was told to pause a lot too. When I first got sober, when I was in treatment, it would drive me nuts. They'd always say, Jenny, just go sit on your hands. And I'd have to pause. And you know what? I was so mad at the time, but it was so valuable because I've really learned that when you take that time to pause and not react and come back to it later, you feel completely different about it. Especially if you like sit on it for like 24 hours. Like I'll do that in relationships too. Like, you know what? I can't talk about this right now. Let's come back to it. And you feel so different. So yeah, I agree with you with that pausing. What would you say to somebody out there that's young too? Let's say they're, 19 years old and they're feeling like their life is going to be over if they get sober so young. Like, what would you say to that person?
I would say definitely take it one day at a time. And my other favorite quote is, Rome was not built in a day.
So true. Yeah. And what area do you live in?
I live in Irvine.
I lived in Irvine for like 4 years.
Nice.
So do you do a lot of recovery out there, like meetings in that area, or do you go to other areas?
I go to more South County for my meetings.
Okay. Yeah. What would you say to someone out there that like doesn't know how to find a good meeting?
Definitely look up on the OCAA website for sure.
Okay.
And try to find like meetings that like meditation meetings if you're more spiritual, or if you're if you like to socialize more, get more into like more involved meetings and stuff like that. Just you have to find your meeting, because that's one of my like weak points, is finding meetings that I like, because I sit in meetings and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's like droning on forever about the same topic, and then I can't listen to it. And I have ADHD as well. So for me, it's definitely meetings where there's more like engagement and stuff.
Were you always a singer?
Yes.
Okay. So you've done that pretty much your whole life. You've been creative.
Yes.
Did it take like a backseat when you were using, I would think? Like, were you?
No. So actually I was doing the drugs and the music up in Hollywood at the same time.
Okay. So what exactly were you doing? Like, walk us through a day of like being out there in the scene.
Oh my goodness. I can't really remember because it's all a blackout.
Okay. But you'd like perform at places and stuff?
I would.
Okay.
But I'd perform loaded. I'd get loaded before and I'd get loaded after.
And do you think people knew?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They didn't care?
No.
You don't remember any of it?
Sometimes I do remember this though. People would ask me if I was okay. And I'd say yeah.
So you were a blackout artist?
I was.
Yeah, me too. Big time. I would black out all the time. And it's just crazy when you think about it, like our disease, because we black out, we don't remember anything. So it's not like we can remember having a good time, but then we go right back out and do it again, Right. It's nuts. Like the appeal of having a drink to feel good for maybe the 30 minutes to an hour that you actually remember, and then you just go into a blackout.
Like the only thing I remember, like on my world tour, the only thing I have are Snapchat memories. Yeah, the only thing I have are photos. I don't have any memory of it because the whole thing was a blur. It was a blackout. So I'm looking through these photos, and that's the only thing I have left. And today I only look back at those photos. I tell myself you're only allowed to look at those photos if you feel like drinking or using. You're not allowed to look at those photos, because I'm trying to keep a positive mindset.
So you went on a world tour?
I went on, well, it was right after COVID, so not necessarily a world tour, but I like to call it my world tour.
Okay. So what are your goals, visions, dreams for the future as an artist?
I want to be like, I don't want to be like as big as Taylor Swift, but like.
Why not? Why not?
But because I feel like that's too much. But I want to be someone, like I want to be an advocate for people in recovery. I want to be an advocate for sobriety. I want to be an advocate for people that are, going through, that have like mental health issues, or they were bullied in school or had a rough childhood.
Yeah.
Like I know what it's like, to be beaten as a kid. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be thrown down a flight of stairs when you're 5 years old and your best friend is over. Like I know what that's like. So
yeah. There's not a lot of artists out there like talking like this, huh? I know there's a few, but not a lot. Like, who would be your favorite celebrity or, singer out there that's in recovery?
Probably Eminem, just because of how like in depth his music is. And
Yeah.
like how he goes into like his real life stories, and
Yeah.
he opens up, and he has, Eminem, but he also has that alter ego of Slim Shady.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think about California sober? There's a lot of people that are young, in the scene, and they're like, I can smoke some weed and maybe drink a little bit.
I tried that during my relapse and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me personally, like, I feel like it's always going to lead back.
Yeah.
If you really truly have that ism, would you just have that complete obsession of the mind where if you didn't have it, you're just constantly thinking about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you constantly think about now?
I constantly think about, well, everything. I have squirrels in my brain. So I think about like, I don't know, like what the weather is, what the palm tree outside is doing.
But you don't think about using.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's the last thing.
Nice. And you're in school now?
I am.
What are you taking?
I'm going back to school for my EMT. I'm just kind of not happy working in a hospital.
Okay. I love that. And so your friends and your family, they're really supportive of everything you're doing?
Yeah.
Nice. So again, to the young person out there that's maybe they just got sober and they're having a really hard time like figuring out what they enjoy to do, because it's like, it's one thing to get sober, but then trying to figure out what you actually like. What would you say to somebody out there that's 19 and they're newly sober and they're like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what makes me happy. I don't know what hobbies I like. Like, what would you suggest?
Just try everything. Try everything and see what does make you happy. And if you're still not happy with those options, just keep trying.
Yeah, I think the same thing. Like, that was my story. I got sober and I was like, I don't know what I like to do. I don't know who I am. Like, what do I do? And I didn't even know about AA when I got sober. And so I looked into that, and then I went to refuge recovery and smart recovery and just tried everything and tried every activity. And I still do to this day. I'm like, you know what? I'm getting kind of restless, irritable, discontent. I'm going to go try something new, get to a meeting, do whatever I need to do. What about relationships in recovery?
Relationships in recovery are very rough, especially if your partner is also in recovery, because I'm in a relationship and I'm in recovery, and it definitely has its strong points or difficult points because we're both escape artists. Addicts are escape artists. We don't like to deal with ourselves, and we don't like to deal with other people. And it's hard, but good communication, and I believe true love always wins in the end.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you think somebody that's in recovery can date somebody that's a normie? And there's no right or wrong answer to these questions. I'm just wondering your thoughts.
If boundaries are established, then yes.
Yeah, I've actually never dated anybody that's a normie. Me personally, I feel like it'd be really hard to do. Like, watching someone, it'd be one thing if they just had like a drink at dinner or something, but if they're like, he's going out partying,
right?
You know what I mean? Getting wasted. I'm like, oh, I don't think I could do that.
Right.
I got 7.5 years sober now. And over the years, it's like my whole world has become recovery in the sense of like who I hang out with, you know what I mean? Like my whole support system. And it's like before I got sober, like I didn't know anybody that was in recovery. So it was cool, that we can get into recovery and build that foundation all around us. Did you grow up in Orange County or?
I grew up in LA, and I grew up in Cleveland.
Okay.
So my grandparents and my dad's from LA, and then my mom's side of the family is in Cleveland.
Okay. And is there any alcoholism, addiction in your family?
I don't want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as a child, you got bullied. What was that like, getting bullied? Do you think that pushed you into numbing yourself? I would think that.
Yeah, it made me definitely go into numbing myself, but also it created a lot more attention-seeking behaviors.
And so with those attention-seeking behaviors, like what would you do?
I would get up and, dance on the table or something, or I'd punch a teacher, or I would end up, and I was always intoxicated, so I'd end up like punching a teacher, well, high as a kite, or, you know, I got suspended for countless things, and, you know, my school that I went to almost wanted to expel me. So I ended up being homeschooled for the rest of my high school years because my behavior was just too bad. I couldn't be in it.
Okay. Yeah. What would you say to somebody that doesn't know how to ask for help?
Asking for help, it takes courage, and, you know, it's advocate for yourself for sure. Advocate for yourself, and, you know, stand up and ask for help, because the sooner you ask for help, the sooner you're going to feel better.
Yeah. And there's people there that want to support you, right? Like I didn't want to ask for help either. And I was like, that's a weakness. I can't do this. Oh my God, what are people going to think of me? And not realizing that it's really brave and courageous to ask for help. What does your support system look like now in recovery?
I have a very supportive boyfriend. My parents are more involved in my life.
He's here, by the way, right here.
My parents are more involved in my life, and I'm building a relationship with them. And I have an amazing support system that I met through my home group. And I have so much support and love, and I never thought in my life that I would have this. But, you know, it all started from me asking for help. So.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. What does the future look like for you? What do you want to do?
I really want to go like full throttle into music. Like in the near future, I want to try to, you know, start like music therapy in a bunch of like rehabs and stuff, and give people an opportunity to try something new in sobriety. And also, like, I use music to journal. So my whole album, Metaphorical Arsonist, I use that as my journal. That's my story, and those are my raw feelings. So I want to like teach people a new outlet that they can pour their heart and soul into, but also, you know, they can try something new.
Yeah, I love that. You will do so well in treatment centers. I've worked in treatment centers for almost 8 years, and you would be the perfect group facilitator to come in there and do the music therapy. You really need to do that. But yeah, if you need any references for that, honestly, like you would be perfect.
I would love to.
You definitely need to do that. You have such good energy and could just be so helpful, you know, to people that are struggling through your music. Where can people find you online?
They can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is Kitty Noir Official with an underscore after it. Spotify is Kitty Noir, and Apple Music. I'm out on all platforms.
Okay.
So.
And are you writing anything currently?
Yes, I'm working on a new tropical like EP.
Okay. And you have some recovery songs, right?
I do.
How many do you have?
I have a whole album.
Okay, I was going to say list a couple of them. Well, what are the like top 5 favorites?
My first one is definitely, it's called Are You Ever Gonna Change? Because I had to look myself in the mirror and ask myself, are you ever gonna change? And then the people around me, they ask me, are you done yet? You know, are you done causing this much damage to my life? Are you done burning bridges? Are you done, you know, making yourself look bad? Are you done harming my family? Not just me, but my family as well. And and I said, yeah, I'm done. I'm just done. I surrender.
That's powerful. What's the name of that one again?
It's called Are You Ever Gonna Change?
Are You Ever Gonna Change? All right, listen to that. Final thoughts. Somebody out there struggling right now that's watching this, what would you say to them?
Reach out. My Instagram DMs are always open.
Okay.
And especially to people in recovery. I'm always here to support you, and I'm always in your corner. So reach out.
I love that. So you're willing to talk to anybody that needs the help.
Yes.
Okay, reach out to her, you guys. Kitty Noir. Okay, thank you so much for being here. You are definitely coming back. We're putting this out there. You're going to come back and do a couple songs. Yes. That'll be amazing. Yay. I love your energy. You're great.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for being here. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next time.